Hello, everybody. Today I'm gonna be doing track versus track video, and haven't done one of these in a while. Not like a while, but I feel like I haven't done it in a little bit. And gonna do it with the Byrds' third album, Fifth Dimension, versus their fourth album, Younger Than Yesterday. And I've always wanted to do this track versus track video, but one, I never had the Fifth Dimension copy, and finally got the copy now. And second reason, I never thought that this album this album would ever stand a chance against the fourth album. And I'll go more into that if I ever rank these albums. Uh, when I review these albums with Breyer, we're not doing a Byrds review this week because I'm not going to get into that. But I, yeah, after we finish the sixth album, it'll be like halfway through their discography. I was going to do like a mini ranking video, not video, but like do a little mini ranking of those six albums, and I'll get more into that when I do that. And yeah, this album is a grower. Definitely is. So yeah. After this video, I'm gonna be doing George Harrison review of his fifth album, Dark Horse. And pretty sure me and Jason will be reviewing Simon and Garfunkel's very first album, Wednesday morning, 3 a.m. And that is the plan for today. Okay. Let's get into the track versus track. I'm gonna get a piece of paper and a pencil, keep track. I don't think I have any. Okay, well, I don't have any paper, but Fifth Dimension versus Younger Than Yesterday. Great album name, by the way. Okay. But both albums have 11 tracks. Both end on six. Both sides end on both of the first sides end on the sixth track. Both of the second side has 5 tracks, so it works out perfectly. I don't have to add or get rid of tracks. Next, first track, Fifth Dimension, the title track. Yeah, the first 3 Byrds albums, they would have the album name after the single that they would release for it, and they would have the name of the album. Yeah, they would have the title track for the album. It was like that for the first 3 albums, I believe. Yeah, no, I don't think they did that for the rest of them. Another example of that, have it in the basement right here. So, lucky for me, I didn't bring it back up. That'll be turn. Another example of that is that, and I believe, Mr. Tambourine Man. So their first 3 albums is named after one of their singles. I think the lead-off singles. Yeah. That's going up against. So, you want to be a rock and roll star. Yeah. This is the first album that doesn't have a title track. Like, doesn't have the first track or the album named after a single, or have it like be the lead-off track. Pretty difficult. Both great ways to start off the album. Of course, the heater thing has to go off now. Great. Um, I don't know. Both are great ways to start off the album for both different reasons. Probably gonna go with Fifth Dimension. Yeah, if you're happy with that choice. Um, Wild Mountain Time versus Have You Ever Seen Her Face? To me, that's really easy. Have You Ever Seen Her Face wins that. Okay. Mr. Spaceman versus CTA 102. Wow. Well, I'm picking this track as the winner, CTA 102, but wow. Both the third tracks is space related. CTA 102 is about like alien life, and this track is like about Mr. Spaceman, and yeah, pretty cool. Um, I very cool tracks. Mr. Spaceman was a single and was pretty not the most popular thing that they released, but it's pretty popular back then, I'd say. I See You versus Renaissance Fair. Um, I'm gonna go with Renaissance Fair. Very much better than I See You. Wasn't really much of a contest. Um, What's Happening? David Crosby's very first vocal on a Byrds album versus Time Between. I'm gonna go with the Crosby track off the Fifth Dimension album. What's Happening? Much better. Um, I Come and Stand at Every Door. Coming up against Everybody's Been Burned Before, or just Everybody's Been Burned. I don't know why I always add the before part. Both amazing tracks. I can't deny that. I'm gonna have to go with the Fifth Dimension album. Yeah. Okay. Track number 7, or the first song off of side 2, 8 Miles High, the very popular single off of this album. One of their very first hints of psychedelia in their music, and that's going up against Thoughts and Words. This song is way better. Well, showing the back cover. This song is way better than 8 Miles High. I was never that into 8 Miles High. It grew on me a lot. It grew on me like heavily. Like there was a point where I did not like the song at all. Like I just could not get into it. I always thought for the longest time I thought it was like one of their most overrated singles. And I've never been into that song, and I've grown to love it, and I really enjoy it now. But I'm still not that into 8 Miles High. I still think it's great, but Thoughts and Words is just so much better. It's another one of their psychedelia songs, and both of them start off the second side, and this song just hits much better than 8 Miles High. Younger Than Yesterday wins that. Okay, Hey Joe, what are you gonna do? Their version of Hey Joe versus Mind Garden. I'm not sure if Hey Joe is sung by David Crosby. It sounds like David Crosby sang on it, but it'd be cool because both songs, well, Mind Gardens is sung by David Crosby. It'd be cool if David Crosby sung on Hey Joe. But yeah, Mind Gardens is way better. I have to go with Younger Than Yesterday yet again. Okay. Next track, My Captain Soul, the instrumental track, versus My Back Pages. Yeah, the thing about the Fifth Dimension album is that this is the first, and I don't know if this is the last album that they would release. That well, I'm not sure about. I think Notorious Bird Brothers doesn't have any, but well, this is the first like Byrds album that doesn't have any Bob Dylan on it, like any songs written by Bob Dylan, and I think it's cool. I think it's cool that there's no songs written by Bob Dylan because it shows that there is one song that they don't write on it, but it just shows that they're not just you're just not a Bob Dylan cover band, and that goes up against arguably the best Dylan cover, My Back Pages. Even though I just said that what I said about the Fifth Dimension track album, that's good that they're straying away from the Bob Dylan covers. They do a really great job on this song. This is to me their best Dylan cover to date. The closest they could get to getting better than this is probably This Wheels on Fire from the Dr. Byrds and Mr. Hyde album. Think so? I think that's better. I don't know, but yeah, this song's way better. I'm gonna have to go with Younger Than Yesterday. Okay, John Riley versus The Girl with No Name. Both songs are just all right. Like both songs give me little to no feeling, but I guess if I had to pick one, I would pick John Riley. Okay. I don't know if I got the math right. No, that's right. Wrong album. 242 Foxtrot, the Learjet song that closes out this album, and this album closes out with Why. Oh my god, it's crazy because this song is way better than the Learjet song. It always blows my mind how they would choose that 242 Foxtrot as the closing track. I always thought 8 Miles High would have been the perfect way to close out the album, but them do them, I guess. Okay. So Younger Than Yesterday beat Fifth Dimension. Not too surprised about that, but to be honest, if I would have gone against this like a few months ago, I would have got crushed. It would have been 11-0. So Fifth Dimension, 4 tracks versus its 6 tracks. So no, 7 tracks. Yeah, 7. So 7 of 4. Not bad, but yeah, this is much better of an album than this album. I will say, well, I'm gonna say it again when we do it. I have to say this album, if I were to compare this album to the first 6 albums, like if I were to rank the first 6 albums, I initially had this as the weakest album out of the first 6. Yeah, I thought this was really weak. My thought was 5 really boring track, or 6 really boring tracks, followed up by a really overrated single, followed up by another 4 really boring not overrated, like another 4 underwhelming tracks. Yeah. Yeah, when I went through their discography, it was like through one day I listened to Mr. Tambourine Man, which I got it right here. And yeah, I still don't have the vinyl copy, which I need to get the vinyl copy. Probably the mono version. And I wonder if Turn was on stereo. Yeah, it's on stereo. I thought I was going crazy. And what was I thinking? I listened to this. I'm like, this is a great album. Then I go to Turn. I'm like, okay, this is great. This is really good, but it's not as good as Mr. Tambourine Man. Then I listen to Fifth Dimension. I'm like, this is good, but not as good as Turn. And Younger Than Yesterday, it's like, wow, this is like way better than the other three I just listened to. And then same with the Notorious Brothers. I kind of thought it was like around the same page as the Younger Than Yesterday. Then I listened to, I always forget, the Sweetheart of the Rodeo. Hopefully I didn't get that name wrong. And I listened to the first six, and I ranked them as I was going along. And yeah, I have this as the weakest Byrds album. And who knows? Maybe this might still be the weakest. Who knows? Maybe I might listen through the six and think this is still the weakest. But I'll never. I know a lot of people. Well, I know not a lot of people. I know a lot of Bird fans who would put this album as their highest. And I even watched the ranking video, and I saw a person put this as their highest, and I could see why a lot of people put this as their highest Birds album. I mean, I don't hate it at all. I just an original 1966 copy. That's in a shrink wrap. So, and I made sure it was like really nice. So it's not like I just bought this album just to buy this album. If I didn't like this album, I would have just bought a crappy copy just to show off in our review video. That's because I like to, like, whenever I review a video or do a track versus track, I always like to have like a physical copy to like show off. And if I didn't like this album, I'd just buy a crappy used copy and just be like, yeah, I don't like this album that much. All the tracks are garbage and stuff. But all I gotta say though is the tracks you really gotta pay attention from this album, and this may or may not be a hint of what my top five. I'm not even gonna do five tracks. Uh, the one big song you gotta get out of this album though is not 8 Miles High. It is What's Happening. This is my favorite song off the album. Like I said, it's David Crosby's very first lead vocal on a Byrds album, and much better than the rest of this album. It's probably this is easily the strongest song on the album. Like I said, I've never been the biggest fan of 8 Miles High. I think it's a really good song, but I just don't think it's perfect. Like a lot of people say, I don't think it belongs to be on their greatest hits. I think What's Happening should be on the greatest hits. I think this should have been the lead off single for the album. And you know what? And this might sound weird, but I think this would have been a cooler album name. Like What's Happening, like, music all around us is changing, and I don't think that, I'm pretty sure that's not what the song's about, but would have been a very cool title for the album. Of course, Fifth Dimension I wouldn't say perfect opener, but it's a really great way to open up the album. So keep that as the opener. But What's Happening would have been a great album name, really good single, and it's just great overall. It's like this is like whenever I think early Bird psychedelia, like pre Younger Than Yesterday albums, I think of What's Happening. I kind of think of Younger Than Yesterday, but it's not as, I don't know. I don't really see it as much, but not that. But the Learjet song is kind of it's 2 minutes of starts off with sound like jet sounds, and then them just singing like "Come ride the Learjet, come ride the Learjet." It gets very repetitive. Thankfully, if the song was another minute extra, I would have despised it. But it's long enough for me to be like, okay, it's not too bad. Probably definitely the weakest track off the album, but yeah, I want to go more into it when I get into the review video. But yeah, this just like kind of like I guess a little summary of how I feel about the album, and hopefully me and Brian could do it next week. Not forcing anything, but yeah, looking forward to that, and see that there was no views at all during the whole thing. So this is gonna basically all be can't think right now. It's all gonna be in the whoever's watching in the replay, I guess. And also I haven't done it in a while, but I put the link of As It Should Be's track versus track videos because he influenced me into making them. So go check him out because he makes a bunch of great videos, and yeah. But anyway.